She came home at 3 a.m. smelling like him. I gave her 15 minutes to pack and get out. She laughed. Until I showed her the photos. My name is Julian Ratcliffe. I'm 41 years old. And until that night, I thought I had it all figured out. I'd build a robotics company from nothing, creating specialized automation systems for automotive manufacturing. The patent approval had come through 3 weeks earlier. Precision welding robots that would revolutionize the industry. My ticket to financial freedom, our ticket, I thought. I woke to the sound of a car door slamming outside our Phoenix home. Not unusual in our neighborhood, but something made my gut tighten. I reached across the bed, empty. The sheets were cold. Amelia wasn't there. I sat up, pulse hammering, and checked my phone. No messages, no missed calls, just the time glowing back at me. 3:17 a.m. Then I heard it, the front door unlocking. I moved fast, slipping out of bed and into the dark hallway. The door creaked open and Amelia stepped inside. She was carrying her heels in one hand, phone clutched in the other. Her hair was disheveled, falling loose from what had probably been a neat updo hours ago. But that wasn't what made my blood run cold. It was the smell. Cologne, heavy, expensive, unmistakably masculine. Not mine. Where were you? My voice cut through the darkness. Amelia jerked, her head snapping toward me. For half a second, pure panic flashed across her face before she smoothed it over with a practiced smile. Julian, God, you scared me. She said, pressing a hand to her chest like I was the problem, like I was the one sneaking in at 3 o'clock in the morning. I asked you a question, I said, stepping into the dim light from the street lamp outside. Where were you, Amelia? She rolled her eyes. Actually rolled her eyes and kicked off her heels. I told you I was meeting Rebecca for drinks. We lost track of time. Rebecca, I'll let the name hang there. Yes, Rebecca, my college roommate, the one who's in town for exactly 2 days. Her tone was sharp, defensive. What is this? An interrogation. I took another step forward. The cologne smell got stronger. What kind of drinks last until 3 o'clock in the morning? The kind where you catch up with someone you haven't seen in 5 years, Amelia said, brushing past me toward the bedroom. I'm exhausted, Julian. Can we not do this right now? But I couldn't let it go. Something was off. Wrong in a way I couldn't quite name yet. Who drove you home? She froze in the doorway. Her back to me just for a moment. Then she turned, forcing that same casual smile. Rebecca's Uber driver dropped me off. She's staying downtown. That's interesting, I said slowly. Because I called Rebecca 2 hours ago when you didn't answer your phone. The smile faltered. She said you two finished dinner at 10 o'clock. Said you told her you had an early morning and left. Amelia's fingers tightened around her phone. I went for a walk. Needed to clear my head for 5 hours. Julian in heels. Her jaw clenched. What exactly are you accusing me of? I stared at her. This woman I've been married to for 10 years. The mother of my 5-year-old daughter, Mia. And I didn't recognize her. The defiance in her eyes, the way she was already preparing her next lie. It was like looking at a stranger. I'm not accusing you of anything, I said quietly. I'm asking you to tell me the truth. Amelia laughed. Not a nervous giggle, but a full mocking laugh that made my fists clench. The truth? The truth is you're being paranoid and controlling. I went out with a friend. I'm allowed to have a life outside this house, Julian. Before I could respond, her phone buzzed once, twice, 3 times in rapid succession. At 3:30 in the morning, I watched her eyes flick down to the screen, watched her thumb move lightning fast to silence it, but not before I caught a glimpse of the name on the display. Ryan, not Rebecca. Ryan. Who's Ryan? I asked. Who's Ryan? I repeated, my voice deadly calm. Amelia's face went through a series of expressions. Surprise, panic, then something that looked almost like relief, like she was tired of hiding. He's a colleague from a marketing firm I've been consulting with. At 3:30 in the morning, we were working on a campaign proposal, she said. But her voice lacked conviction. It's a big account, Julian. You know how these things go. I didn't know how these things went. I'd spend enough late nights at the office to understand deadlines and pressure, but I'd never come home smelling like another woman's perfume. Show me your phone, I said. Excuse me, your phone. Show me the messages from Ryan about this campaign proposal. Amelia's grip tightened on the device. Absolutely not. That's word confidential. And frankly, I don't appreciate you treating me like I'm on trial here. Then you won't mind calling him right now, I said, pulling out my own phone. Let's clear this up together. Professional colleagues wouldn't mind a 3:30 a.m. call about work, right? Her eyes widened. You're insane. Am I? I took a step closer because from where I'm standing, my wife just came home in the middle of the night smelling like another man with that man's name lighting up her phone every 30 seconds. So, either you're having an affair or you're the world's most dedicated marketing consultant. How dare you? I dare because I'm not stupid, Amelia. My voice rose before I could stop it. I took a breath, lowering it again. I've given you everything. This house, your car, your lifestyle. I've worked myself half to death to build something for our family while you what? Spend your nights with Ryan. She flinched and I saw it. The truth bleeding through her carefully constructed facade. It's not what you think, she whispered. Then tell me what it is. I can't. Can't or won't. Amelia's phone buzzed again. This time she didn't even look at it. Julian, please. Let's talk about this tomorrow when we're both calm. No. I grabbed my laptop from the kitchen counter and opened it. We're talking about it now. What are you doing? I pulled up the folder I've been hoping I'd never have to open. The one my lawyer had suggested I create 3 months ago when Amelia started acting distant. Inside were screenshots, timestamps, credit card statements, charges at restaurants I'd never been to, hotels in Phoenix I'd never stayed at, late night charges at a wine bar called Elevation on nights she'd supposedly been home with Mia. I hired a private investigator 4 weeks ago, I said quietly, turning the screen toward her. The blood drained from Amelia's face. You want to know what he found? I clicked to the next file. Photos. Amelia and a man I didn't recognize sitting close at a camel table. Amelia and the same man walking hand in hand through a park. Amelia and the man kissing outside a hotel. Julian Ryan Simmons. I read from the investigator's report. 39 years old, investment consultant. Married. That last word hung in the air like a grenade. He's married, I repeated, looking up at her. You're sleeping with a married man. Amelia's composure shattered. It's not like that. His marriage is over. They're separated. I don't care what story he told you. I slammed the laptop shut. How long? She didn't answer. How long, Amelia? 8 months, she whispered. 8 months. While I've been finalizing patents and building our future, she'd been building a life with someone else. Get out, I said. What? You heard me. Get your things and get out of my house. Amelia's expression shifted from guilt to disbelief. You can't be serious. I've never been more serious in my life. This is my home, too, Julian. You can't just throw me out in the middle of the night. Watch me. Amelia laughed. Not a nervous giggle, but a full contemptuous laugh that made my blood boil. You're going to kick me out? Really, Julian? This is half my house. Actually, it's not. I walked to my filing cabinet and pulled out a folder I've been reviewing just last week. Your parents made the down payment. Sure, but the deed. Check whose name is on it. I tossed the property deed onto the kitchen counter. Her eyes scanned it and I watched the realization hit her. The house is in my name, I said calmly. Solely in my name. Your parents insisted on it for tax purposes. Remember something about liability protection for their assets. Amelia's face went pale. That's not possible. My father wouldn't. Your father's a smart businessman. He protected himself. I crossed my arms. So yes, I absolutely can throw you out. This is my house, Amelia. Not ours. Mine. She grabbed the deed, staring at it like it might change if she looked hard enough. You bastard. I'm the bastard. I'm not the one who's been sleeping around for 8 months. You think you're so smart? She hissed, slamming the paper down. You think you've got it all figured out, but you need me, Julian. My family's connections are the reason your little robot company has any customers at all. There was the real power play. Interesting you bring that up, I said. Because I've been documenting every contract, every introduction, every deal that came through your family. And you know what I found? She didn't answer. Your father helped open doors. But I'm the one who delivered. Every single contract renewal, every expansion, that was me and my team. The robots worked because I designed them, not because of your last name. Daddy will destroy you, Amelia said, her voice dropping to something dangerous. One call from him and every facility in Arizona will drop your contracts. Maybe I acknowledged, but then I'll sue him for tortious interference and I'll win because I have documentation showing that every contract was earned on merit, not family favors. I've been preparing for this possibility longer than I've been tracking her affair. My lawyer had been thorough. Amelia's hands were shaking now. You can't do this. What about Mia? You're going to tear apart our family over some stupid mistake. Some stupid mistake. My voice rose despite my best efforts. You've been lying to me for 8 months. You've been bringing another man around our daughter. I never brought him around. Mia, liar. I pulled up another photo on my laptop. Ryan Simmons pushing Mia on a swing at Encano Park. The timestamp read 3 weeks ago. Uncle Ryan, right? That's what you told her. Call him. Amelia's face crumbled. How did you? The investigator is very thorough. I showed her another photo. Ryan and Mia sharing ice cream. Ryan helping Mia with her backpack outside her preschool. You've been playing house with him while I was at work. She likes him. Amelia whispered. He's good with her. Something inside me shifted. Not broke. Shifted into something colder, harder, more resolved. Pack your bags, I said quietly. You have 15 minutes, Julian. 15 minutes, Amelia, or I call the police and have you removed for trespassing. She stared at me and I could see her running through her options. The tears started, then big dramatic sobs that might have worked on me 6 months ago. Please, she begged. Please, let's just talk about this. I made a mistake, but we can fix this. Think about Mia. Think about our family. I'm thinking about Mia, I said. Which is why I'm not going to let her grow up watching her mother disrespect her father every single day. 14 minutes. Amelia's sobs turned to rage. You're going to regret this. You think you're the victim here? You ignored me for years, Julian. Years. I was lonely. I was 13 minutes. She screamed in frustration, grabbed a vase from the counter, and for a second, I thought she might throw it. Instead, she slammed it down so hard it shattered. Pieces flying across the kitchen floor. Fine, she shrieked. Fine, but you're making the biggest mistake of your life. She stormed toward the bedroom and I heard drawers slamming, hangers screeching across the rod. I stood there in the kitchen, surrounded by broken glass, and felt nothing but relief. I stood in the kitchen doorway, watching Amelia tear through our bedroom like a tornado. Clothes flew into an open suitcase. Jewelry boxes emptied. She was muttering under her breath. Angry words I couldn't quite make out. My phone was in my hand. Timer counting down. 12 minutes left. You're really doing this? She said, emerging with an armful of dresses. You're really throwing away 10 years of marriage. I'm not the one who threw it away. I leaned against the door frame. You did that when you started sleeping with Ryan. She threw the dresses into the suitcase with enough force to knock it off the bed. God, you're so self-righteous. Like you're some perfect husband. Never claimed to be perfect, but I was faithful. Faithful and absent. She yanked open her nightstand drawer. Do you know how many nights I sat here alone while you were at your precious factory? How many dinners I ate by myself? You could have talked to me. I tried. You were always too tired, too stressed, too busy. She grabbed her makeup bag, shoving bottles and compacts inside. Ryan listens. He cares about what I think, what I want. Ryan's married, Amelia. That stopped her just for a second. His wife doesn't appreciate him, she said quietly. And how do you think she'll feel when I tell her about you? Amelia's eyes went wide. You wouldn't? Why not? I checked the timer. 10 minutes. She deserves to know, doesn't she? Just like I deserve to know. Julian, please don't do that. His wife, she's wealthy. She's vindictive. If she finds out, she'll take everything from him. Not my problem, please. Amelia's voice broke. He'll lose his business, his house, everything. Don't punish him for my mistakes. I stared at her. This woman who'd shared my bed for a decade and felt absolutely nothing. You really love him, don't you? She didn't answer, but she didn't have to. I could see it in her face. Then you better hope he loves you enough to take you in tonight, I said. 9 minutes. Amelia's hand shook as she zipped the suitcase. What about Mia? What about her? You can't keep her for me. I'm her mother and I'm her father. We'll work out custody through lawyers. Julian. A sound from the hallway made us both freeze. Small footsteps, hesitant and slow. Mommy. Mia stood in the doorway, clutching her stuffed rabbit, her dark hair messy from sleep. Her eyes were wide, confused, taking in the scene. The suitcase, the scattered clothes, her mother's tear-stained face. Sweetie, Amelia started, her voice suddenly gentle. Go back to bed, baby. Mommy and Daddy are just, why are you packing? Mia's lower lip trembled. Are you going somewhere? I knelt down, bringing myself to a level with my daughter. Mommy needs to go stay somewhere else for a little while. Why? Because I glanced at Amelia, who was frozen, watching us. Because sometimes grown-ups need space to think. But I don't want Mommy to go. Tears started rolling down Mia's cheeks. Please don't go, Mommy. Amelia rushed forward, scooping Mia into her arms. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Mommy will see you very soon. I promise. When? Soon? Amelia whispered, shooting me a look filled with pure hatred. Very soon. She held Mia for another moment, then sat her down gently. Go back to bed, sweetie. Everything's going to be fine. But Mia didn't move. She looked at me, then at her mother, then back at me. Daddy, is Mommy coming back? Before I could answer, Amelia's phone buzzed. The sound cut through the room like a gunshot. She pulled it out instinctively, and I saw the name on the screen from across the room. Ryan. Mia saw it, too. Is that Uncle Ryan? The room went dead silent. The house felt different without Amelia in it. Quieter, emptier, but also cleaner somehow, like a toxin had been removed from the air. I didn't sleep. Couldn't. Instead, I sat in my home office reviewing documents and making calls to my lawyer as soon as business hours started at 8 a.m. Julian Stephen Blackwood said when he answered, I got your message. She's really gone out the door at 4 this morning. I confirmed. I need you to file for divorce today and I need an emergency custody hearing scheduled as soon as possible. Done. What about the prenup? That's where things got complicated. Pull the file and review it again carefully. Amelia seemed way too confident last night when I mentioned it. I heard papers rustling on Stephen Unk's end. Give me an hour. I'll call you back. Mia woke up at 7, padding into the kitchen in her pajamas, still clutching that stuffed rabbit. Her eyes were red and puffy. Where's Mommy? She asked quietly. I knelt down to her level. Remember what I told you last night? Mommy's staying somewhere else for a while because you and Mommy had a fight. Kidsy heard everything. Something like that, sweetheart. Uncle Ryan says fights can be fixed if people just talk. My jaw clenched. When did Uncle Ryan say that? Last week when we were at the park? Mia's voice was so innocent, so trusting. He's nice, Daddy. He buys me ice cream. I felt sick. Mia, honey, I need you to tell me the truth. How many times have you seen Uncle Ryan? She shrugged. Lots. He picks me up from school, sometimes with Mommy, and we go to the park and sometimes we get pizza. Does Mommy tell you not to tell Daddy about Uncle Ryan? Mia's eyes dropped to the floor. She says it's our special secret. There was Amelia had been coaching our 5-year-old daughter to lie to me. My phone rang. Stephen, we have a problem. He said without preamble. What kind of problem? The prenup. Julian, someone altered it. There are pages missing, signatures that don't match up. This thing wouldn't hold up in court for 5 minutes. My blood ran cold. What are you saying? I'm saying someone. And I'd bet money it was her family's lawyer doctor. This document may be years ago, maybe recently. But as it stands, this prenup is worthless. I thought back to the night we signed it a week before our wedding. Amelia's father had insisted on it, brought his own lawyer. I'd been so in love, so trusting I'd barely read it. So she can go after my assets. The house is safe. That's in your name only. But the business, the patent, she's entitled to half of everything acquired during the marriage. $8 million. My patent was worth $8 million. Stephen, that patent was approved 3 weeks ago. Can we argue it's separate property developed during the marriage using marital resources? No judge will buy that, Julian. I'm sorry. I sat down heavily. Amelia and her family have played this perfectly. Wait until the patent was approved, then blow up the marriage and take half. There has to be something. There is, Stephen interrupted. Infidelity. Arizona is a no-fault state, but judges can consider misconduct when dividing assets. If we can prove she was planning this, that she deliberately waited until after the patent approval, I have proof. The affair started 8 months ago, right around when I filed the patent application. That's good, but we need more. We need to show intent. Financial records, communications, anything that proved she knew the patent's value and timed this. I thought about Amelia's behavior over the past months, the sudden interest in my work, the questions about the patent timeline, the way she'd push me to finalize it quickly. I'll get you what you need, I said. After I hung up, I pulled up my company email and started searching. There, 3 months ago, Amelia had forwarded herself an email chain about the patent valuation. She'd been CC'd on it accidentally by my business partner, and instead of deleting it, she'd saved it. I forwarded it to Stephen with a subject line. Evidence of premeditation. My phone buzz. A text from an unknown number. We need to talk, Ryan. I stare at the message. The audacity of this man texting me directly. I typed back, you got 5 minutes. Say what you need to say. His response came immediately, not over text. Meet me at the Starbucks on Camelback. 1 hour. Ryan Simmons looked exactly like his photos. Polished, confident, expensive suit and watch. He was sitting at a corner table when I arrived. 2 coffees already in front of him. "Julian," he said, standing to offer his hand. I ignored it. "You've got 5 minutes. Talk." He sat back down, gesturing to the coffee. "I got you a black coffee." Amelia said, "That's how you take it. Don't say her name. Look, I know you're angry." "Angry?" I leaned forward. "You've been sleeping with my wife for 8 months. You've been around my daughter and you think I'm just angry." Ryan had the decency to look uncomfortable. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." "How was it supposed to happen?" "You were going to what? Convince your wife and me to just accept it?" "My marriage was already over," he said quietly. "Adelaide and I have been separated for 6 months." "Separated or sneaking around?" His jaw tightened. "Separated? We have a legal agreement." "Congratulations." "My marriage wasn't over. My marriage was fine until you decided to destroy it." "Your marriage wasn't fine." Ryan shot back. "Amelia was lonely, neglected, so you thought you'd help yourself to another man's wife. I fell in love with her." The words hung in the air between us. I studied his face, looking for signs of deception, but all I saw was genuine emotion. "You love her," I repeated. "Yes, enough to marry her." Ryan hesitated just for a second, but I caught it. "That's what I thought." I said, "This isn't about love. This is about excitement. Sneaking around playing house with someone else's family. That's not fair." "Fair?" I stood up. "You want to talk about fair? How about the fact that you've been teaching my daughter to keep secrets from me? How about the fact that Amelia has been using you to emotionally manipulate a 5-year-old? Ryan's face went pale. "I never asked her to do that, but you went along with it." I leaned down, getting close enough that he had to look me in the eye. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to stay away from my daughter completely. If I find out you've been within 100 yards of Mia, I'm calling your wife. Sorry, your separated wife. And I'm sending her every photo, every text, every piece of evidence I have. Adelaide already knows." "Does she know Amelia's pregnant?" The color drained from his face completely. I smiled. "Yeah, Amelia took a pregnancy test 2 days ago." "Didn't tell you." "That's interesting." I was bluffing, but his reaction told me I'd hit a nerve. "She's not. She can't be, can't she?" 8 months of unprotected sex. "Ryan, you think you got lucky the whole time?" He stood up so fast his chair scraped loudly across the floor. "You're lying." "Am I?" "Ask for yourself." I turned to leave then stopped. "Oh, and Ryan, your wife, Adelaide, she's worth about $40 million, isn't she? Family money, trust funds, all that." "How do you?" "I did my research, and I'm guessing she's got a really good lawyer. The kind who'd make sure you don't see a dime if she can prove infidelity." I pulled out my phone, showing him a photo of him and Amelia kissing. "This would probably do it, don't you think?" Ryan's hands were shaking. "What do you want?" "I want you to disappear. Break it off with Amelia today. And if you don't, I send everything to Adelaide's lawyer by close of business." "You can't." "I absolutely can. And I will." I stepped closer. "See the difference between you and me. I've got nothing left to lose. My marriage is over. My wife's a cheater. And her family is probably going to try to destroy my business. But you've got 40 million reasons to walk away." 2 weeks after throwing Amelia out, I got the call I've been dreading and anticipating in equal measure. "Julian, it's Dr. Patterson from Phoenix Children's Hospital." My heart stopped. "Is Mia okay?" "She's stable now, but she had an episode at school today. Severe allergic reaction. We need to run some tests, and we'll need both parents here to sign consent forms." I was in my car before he finished the sentence. "I'm on my way." "What about her mother?" "Already here." Of course, she was. Amelia had been fighting me for 2 weeks through lawyers, demanding more custody time, more money, more everything. But she'd shown up for this. I found them in the pediatric wing. Mia was asleep in a hospital bed and 4 in her small arm. Amelia sat beside her, holding her hand. Mascara streaked down her face. "What happened?" I asked from the doorway. Amelia looked up and for a moment she looked like the woman I'd married. Genuinely scared, genuinely vulnerable. "Peanut butter cookies at school. The teacher didn't know about her allergy. She's never had a peanut allergy. The doctor says it can develop suddenly." Amelia's voice broke. "Julian," she stopped breathing. They had to use an EpiPen. I moved to Mia's other side, taking her free hand. "So small, so fragile. What do they need from us?" "Blood work." They want to test for other allergies. Run a full panel. They need both our consents and they need family medical history. Dr. Patterson entered, then a kind-faced man in his 50s. Mr. and Mrs. Radcliffe. Mia is responding well to treatment, but we do need to run comprehensive tests. There's a consent form here, and I need to ask some questions about family medical history. He went through the standard questions. Then any history of autoimmune disorders on either side? My mother has lupus. Amelia said quietly. And your side, Mr. Radcliffe? No autoimmune issues. My father had type 2 diabetes, but that's it. Dr. Patterson made notes. We'll run the test now. Results should be back in a few days. After he left, Amelia and I sat in uncomfortable silence. Our daughter is sleeping between us. I miss her. Amelia finally said, I miss tucking her in at night. You should have thought about that before you cheated. Can we not do this here? Our daughter almost died today. She was right. I took a breath. How are the supervised visits going? They're humiliating. Having some court-appointed stranger watch me interact with my own child. You brought this on yourself. I made a mistake, Julian. One mistake. Does that really mean I deserve to lose my daughter? One mistake. I pulled out my phone, showing her the investigator's timeline. 8 months, Amelia. Dozens of hotel visits. You introduced him to Mia. You taught her to lie to me. Amelia's face hardened. At least Ryan wanted to spend time with her. When was the last time you made it to one of her dance recital? I was building a future for her. You were building an empire for yourself. Amelia stood up, her voice rising. Everything was always about the patent, the business, the money, never about us. A nurse appeared in the doorway. Please keep your voices down. This is a pediatric floor. We both apologized. Amelia sat back down, wiping her eyes. I saw my mother yesterday. I said quietly. She told me something interesting. Amelia went very still. She said she saw you with Ryan 6 months ago at a restaurant in Scottsdale. She recognized him from the photos I showed her. I turned to look at Amelia directly. She called you the next day, warned you that she'd seen you. Told you to end it before I found out. Amelia's face had gone pale. You told her it wasn't what it looked like. That Ryan was just a friend. And my mother, my own mother, decided not to tell me because she didn't want to interfere in our marriage. Julian, I haven't spoken to her since I found out. My own mother knew my wife was cheating and said nothing. I stood up. So, when you talk about betrayal, Amelia, remember that you didn't just betray me. You turned my mother into a liar, too. Before she could respond, Dr. Patterson returned with a tablet. Mr. and Mrs. Radcliffe. I need to discuss something with you. It's about Mia's blood work already. I thought it would take days. This is preliminary typing for the transfusion protocol. We always verify blood type in allergy cases. He looked between us. There's something unusual here. My stomach dropped. Mia's blood type is AB negative. Quite rare. But according to medical records, Mr. Radcliffe, you're O positive. And Mrs. Radcliffe, you're positive. The room started spinning. That's highly unusual. The doctor continued carefully. 2 parents with O and A blood types would very rarely produce an AB child. It suggests we need further testing. Amelia stood up so fast her chair fell over backward. There must be a mistake. Run it again. We've run it twice to be sure. Dr. Patterson's voice was gentle but firm. Mr. Radcliffe. Based on these preliminary results, there appears to be a discrepancy that requires additional testing to clarify. The words hit me like a freight train. I looked at Amelia, whose face had gone from pale to ashen. Tell him, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Tell him he's wrong. Amelia's mouth opened and closed. No words came out. Mrs. Radcliffe. Dr. Patterson prompted, is there something we should know? And then she said it. The words that would haunt me forever. He's not her father. Okay. Is that what you want to hear? Julian isn't Mia's biological father. Ryan is. Are you happy now? I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. The room was spinning. And Amelia's words kept echoing in my head. He's not her father. Ryan is Mr. Radcliffe. Dr. Patterson's voice sounded distant underwater. Do you need to sit down? I looked at Mia sleeping peacefully in that hospital bed. The little girl I'd raised for 5 years. The daughter I'd rocked to sleep. Taught to ride a bike. Read bedtime stories to every single night. Not mine. How long have you known? My voice didn't sound like my own. Amelia was crying, but I felt nothing. No sympathy, no anger, just emptiness. Julian, please. How long since before she was born? Amelia whispered. The room went silent except for the beeping of Mia's monitors. You knew, I said slowly. For 5 years, you let me believe I was her father. You were her father. You raised her. You love her. You put my name on her birth certificate. You let me pay for everything. You watched me work myself to death to provide for a child that wasn't even mine. My voice was rising. I couldn't stop it. Dr. Patterson stepped forward. Perhaps we should continue this conversation outside. No. Amelia grabbed my arm. Julian, listen to me. I didn't know for sure until after she was born. Ryan and it was a one-time thing years ago before we got married. I thought it was over. Before we got married, the timeline clicked into place. Our wedding. You were pregnant at our wedding. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. And you didn't think I had a right to know. I couldn't lose you. I loved you, Julian. I still love you. I yanked my arm free. You don't know what love is. I turned to Dr. Patterson. What does Mia need medically, Mr. Radcliffe? Given what's just been revealed. What does she need? I repeated, my voice hard. The allergy panel monitoring for 24 hours. Follow up in 2 weeks. Do it. All of it. Send the bills to me. I looked at Amelia one last time and get a paternity test scheduled. Official court ordered. I want it in writing. Julian, please don't do this. Think about Mia. She needs you. She needs a real father. Call Ryan. Tell him his daughter's in the hospital. I walked out of that room and didn't look back. In the parking garage, I sat in my car and finally let myself feel it. The betrayal, the rage, the grief. 5 years of my life built on a lie. My phone rang. Stephen, my lawyer. Julian, I just got the most insane call from opposing counsel. Amelia is claiming that Mia isn't your biological child. It's true. Hospital ran blood work. It's scientifically impossible for me to be her father. Silence then. Jesus. Julian, I'm so sorry. What does this mean legally? It means you have grounds to challenge paternity, void the birth certificate, potentially eliminate child support obligations. He paused. But you raised her for 5 years. Some judges might still order support based on established parental relationship. I don't care about the money. Then what do you care about? I close my eyes, seeing Mia's face. I need to know if I have any rights to see her, if I can still be in her life. That's complicated. You're not the biological father, but you've acted as her father for 5 years. There's precedent for maintaining visitation rights, but Amelia would have to agree or you'd have to fight for in court. She won't agree. Then we fight. After I hung up, I sat there for another hour. Finally, my phone buzzed with a text from Amelia. She's asking for you. Please come back. I didn't respond. Another text. Julian, she's crying. She wants her daddy. I'm not her daddy. I type back. Remember? You're the only father she's ever known. Please. I stare at that message for a long time. Then I turned off my phone and drove home to an empty house that had once held everything I cared about. 3 days after the hospital confrontation, I got a call from Dr. Patterson. Mr. Radcliffe, there's been a development with Mia's blood work. Can you come to my office? I drove there in silence, my mind numb. Amelia's words still echoed in my head. He's not her father. Ryan is Dr. Patterson met me with a serious expression. Julian, I need to show you something. We ran the paternity panel as you requested along with additional genetic markers for the allergy testing. He pulled up results on his computer screen. These are Mia's genetic markers and these are yours from the blood sample you gave when she was born. I stared at the columns of numbers and letters. Understanding nothing. The preliminary blood type analysis was misleading. Dr. Patterson said carefully. Mia does have AB-negative blood, but there's a rare genetic phenomenon called Bombay blood group that can mask true blood types in preliminary testing. My heart was pounding. What are you saying? I'm saying that when we ran the full DNA panel, the results were definitive. He turned the screen toward me. Julian, you are Mia's biological father. 99.9% certainty. There's no question. The room spun, but Amelia said, Mrs. Radcliffe was either mistaken or lying. The science is clear. Mia is your daughter. I sat down heavily. She lied. She screamed at me in front of you that I wasn't Mia's father and she was lying. I can't speak to her motivations, but yes, genetically, conclusively, you are Mia's biological father. After I left the hospital, I called Stephen immediately. I need you to file an emergency motion. Amelia lied about paternity to manipulate me. I want full custody today. What happened? I explained everything. The hospital scene, Amelia's dramatic confession, the real DNA results. Stephen whistled low. That's parental alienation, emotional abuse, perjury if she testifies to it. Julian, this changes everything. A judge will crucify her for this. Good. Within 2 hours, we were in front of Judge Catherine Reynolds for an emergency hearing. Amelia sat across from me with her lawyer, looking confused about why we'd been called in so urgently. Your Honor, Stephen began. 3 days ago, Mrs. Radcliffe made a false statement to my client, deliberately claiming he was not the biological father of their daughter, Mia. She did this in front of medical staff in a moment of extreme emotional distress for my client with the apparent intent to cause maximum psychological harm. Amelia's lawyer jumped up. Objection. Mrs. Radcliffe believed that statement to be true based on what? Stephen interrupted. Because we have the DNA results right here. Court certified, medically verified. Mr. Radcliffe, I the biological father. Mrs. Radcliffe's statement was either a malicious lie or a reckless falsehood. Either way, it demonstrates unfitness for custody. Judge Reynolds looked at Amelia. Mrs. Radcliffe, did you tell your husband he was not your daughter's father? Amelia's face had gone pale. I thought Ryan and we had been together before the marriage, and I thought, did you have any medical evidence to support this belief? No. But did you ever conduct a paternity test? No, Your Honor, but the timing. So, you made an unsubstantiated claim about your daughter's paternity in front of medical professionals during a medical emergency with no evidence whatsoever. The judge's voice was ice. Amelia started crying. I was upset. Julian was leaving me, taking everything, and I wanted to hurt him the way he was hurting me. The courtroom went silent. You wanted to hurt him, Judge Reynolds repeated slowly, by falsely claiming his daughter wasn't his daughter. I didn't know for sure. I thought maybe enough. The judge turned to her clerk. Temporary custody of Mia Radcliffe is awarded solely to Julian Radcliffe, effective immediately. Mrs. Radcliffe's visitation is suspended pending psychological evaluation and parenting classes. Your Honor, please. Amelia's lawyer was on his feet. That's extraordinarily harsh. What's harsh? Counselor is weaponizing a child's paternity as a tool for revenge. What's harsh is causing a father to question his relationship with his daughter based on lies. Court adjourned. The gavel came down. Amelia was sobbing. Julian, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I looked at her, this woman who tried to destroy me in the cruelest way possible, and felt nothing but pity. Yes, you did, I said quietly. You meant every word. You just didn't expect to get caught. For months later, I stood in my new office, smaller than the old one, in a different part of Phoenix, but mine. Completely mine. Amelia's family had tried to destroy my business just as she'd threatened. Her father pulled his influence, poisoned relationships, spread rumors. I lost 70% of my client base in 6 weeks. So, I filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. It was the nuclear option, the scorched earth solution. I liquidated everything, sold the house, the cars, emptied the business accounts, paid off what I could, discharged what I couldn't, started from absolute zero. Amelia got nothing in the divorce. No house, no alimony, no share of the patent because there was no longer a patent to share. I'd sold it to a competitor for pennies on the dollar. Just a spider family. She'd won a half of everything. She got half of nothing. The bankruptcy meant I couldn't touch her father's money or influence. Couldn't be blackmailed or controlled. I was free. Mia adjusted better than I'd expected. She was in therapy now, processing the divorce and her mother's behavior. Doctor replying said she was resilient. Daddy. Mia appeared in my office doorway holding her stuffed rabbit. Is it time for dinner? Almost. Sweetheart, just finishing up some work. She climbed into my lap. Something she did more often now. I like our new apartment. Yeah, even though it's smaller. It's cozy and you're home more. She looked up at me with those big brown eyes. My eyes, the DNA test had confirmed. Are you happy, Daddy? I'm getting there, baby. I'm getting there. My phone buzz. A text from Adelaide Simmons. Ryan's ex-wife who become an unexpected ally. Heard you closed a new contract. Congratulations. I'd met Adelaide during the divorce proceedings. Turned out Ryan had lied to her, too. Claimed he was leaving her for Amelia. Adelaide had filed for divorce the same week I did. We compared notes, shared evidence, supported each other through the legal battles, and somewhere along the way, we become friends. I type back. Thanks. Small contract, but it's a start. Her response, every empire starts somewhere. Coffee this weekend? Can't. Mia has a dance recital. Rain check. Absolutely. Tell me. I said break a leg. Not literally. I smiled, slipping my phone back into my pocket. Mia was watching me. Who was that? She asked. A friend. Her name's Adelaide. Is she nice? Very nice. Will I meet her? Maybe someday. If you want to. Mia thought about this seriously. Does she like stuffed rabbits? I don't know. We can ask her. She nodded satisfied and slid off my lap. I'm going to go set the table. I watched her go. This little person who was handling everything with more grace than most adults could manage. 5 years old and already stronger than I'd ever been. My phone rang. An unknown number. Julian Radcliffe. I answered. Mr. Radcliffe. This is Thomas Wong from Apex Manufacturing. We heard you're taking on new clients. I sat up straighter. Apex was one of the biggest automotive suppliers in the Southwest. That's correct. What can I do for you? We need someone who understands precision robotics. Someone who's not afraid to start from scratch and build something better than what exists. Your name keeps coming up. My name comes with some baggage these days. We did our homework. Bankruptcy, messy divorce, family drama. We don't care about any of that. We care about whether you can deliver, can you? I looked around my small office, thought about the contracts I'd lost and the reputation I'd rebuild from nothing. Mr. Wong, I can deliver. When would you like to meet? We set an appointment for Tuesday. After I hung up, I allowed myself a moment of satisfaction, not triumph. I'd learned the difference. Just quiet satisfaction. Amelia had tried to destroy me. Her family had pulled every string they had. And I'd survived, more than survived. I'd started over on my own terms. That night, after putting me at bed, I sat on my apartment balcony, looking out over Phoenix. The city lights stretched to the horizon. Each one representing someone else fighting their own battles, rebuilding their own lives. My phone buzzed one more time. Adelaide, proud of you. You know that, right? Thanks. Couldn't have done it without friends. That's what friends are for. See you soon. Count on it. I set the phone down and closed my eyes. Somewhere out there, Amelia was living with the consequences of her choices. Ryan had lost everything to his ex-wife. Her parents had won the battle, but lost their daughter's respect. And me, I'd lost a marriage, a house, a business empire. But I kept my daughter. I kept my integrity. I kept my soul. In the end, that was all that mattered.